Good afternoon and welcome to Quickyland's Global Cooking Challenge. We're starting very early today because we have an unusual night. Tonight we are cooking one of the sort of national dishes of Suriname. It's called pom. And again, this is night 3 of 3 of cooking the food of Suriname. Suriname, again, if you're wondering, is in South America, located right there between Guyana, French Guiana, and Brazil on the Atlantic coast. Former Dutch colony, and tonight's dish, pom, has an unusual origin. We'll be getting to that. Arsenal Lover, thank you for the like and the restream. How you doing? Callie, thank you for the like. Tonight's dinner will be in 2 parts. Here we are. Hello. In 2 parts. Right now we're doing part 1, which is going to be the prep and the putting together the dish. And then after that, it goes in the oven. And it's going to be in the oven for 2 hours, and that is not going to be fun to watch. So for that reason, we're going to be going offline for 2 hours. And then part 2, if you would like, you can subscribe to that. That will be starting at 7:30 Eastern Time. If you're watching this in the future, this will all be one video, so you won't be missing much. Hello. I got myself caught up here. Just a moment, please. Ooh, drama. There we go. Hey, Cheyenne, how you doing? Good seeing you. Greetings. So, pom. It was pointed out to me that today's dish will be the shortest dish, name-wise, in name only. Kathy, how you doing? Ho ho ho, yes, Merry Christmas to you and yours. Let me make sure you get some power, because this is, I've been beating up the phone today already, so I can never get this to not wobble. Okay, trying to get you lined up here. Don't fall over. It's being cranky. Hold on. There we go. I think we might be okay now. No. Okay. Hey, Jurgen, how you doing? We'll be playing some Dutch music later. As of course, in Suriname, Dutch is the national language, along with sort of a Creole Dutch also. So, pom. It is a casserole dish, a one-pot dish, and its origin is curious because well, hold on. First, let me get some stuff going here because I'm on a tight schedule here. We're going to cut up this chicken and pork. We have chicken thighs. I'm making half of this dish. Hold that thought. I'm looking for my chicken. Okay, that would be awkward. Awkward moment. I don't know where my chicken is. The husband said he bought it. Let's see if that works. Do you know where the chicken is? Question mark. I can't find it. Period. That's gonna be fun. Hello, cuckoo. We're gonna get started cutting up the salt pork. We need half a pound of the salt pork, and it's curious that this includes salt pork because of the origin of the dish, because this dish began is a Jewish dish. So odd that we have salt pork, but it mutated as time went on. I'm waiting for a response from the husband here. Okay, I need half a pound of the salt pork. Where could that chicken be? Where could it be hiding? Nope. Nope, not in the drawer. I'm gonna look again. Drama! Yes, drama. This would be very, 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 very bad. This is the meat drawer. I am looking in the meat drawer, and I see no chicken. I can look in the freezer. Oh, goody. These are chicken thighs. And they're in the freezer. The only time we are on a tight schedule, things go wrong. I'll swear, sounds like an open to do a joke. Do you know where the chicken is? Wrapped in brown paper from Fresh Market. Yeah, this is not that chicken. Okay, I have frozen, luckily. I'm looking for a brown wrapped package. Anyone? 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 That is not here. Nope. No siree. Thankfully I have frozen. It just so happens. It just so happens. Nope. Just frozen from before. Well, I got this. Hello, Junior. Merry Christmas. Yeah, freezer. Just so happens that I have, I bought extra chicken thighs previously. Just total coincidence. And I have a package. Does that qualify? And we're going to put this in some water to defrost. Good times. I mean, it's just absolute coincidence that I happen to have extra. I took out the whole darn thing. I've looked. It's not that big a freezer. It's not that big a freezer. No, it absolutely positively ain't there. Yippee yahoo! Yeah. Okay, so half a pound. We need half a pound of this. Salt pork coming right up. And that did not cut through where I needed it to. I know what I'm going to do with the rest of the salt pork. I only need half a pound of it. I've cut this recipe in half because, you know, I don't need to serve like 10 people. Love your streams. Thank you, Junior. I appreciate it very much. Just stressing over this. So, half a pound, eh? This is, what, 12 ounces? Yeah. So I only need 8. Okay. Is this, yes. I hate getting my hand crap all over my hands. You know, funny thing, that since he couldn't find the chicken, because there's something else he bought that he was looking for he couldn't find yesterday either. I'm wondering maybe the two of them were left in a bag at the Fresh Market. The woman at Fresh Market on Sunday handed me 3 bags. It's possible that she still had some of my groceries. That would explain the missing guacamole mix. Yippee. Yes, this is a lot of pork. I'm not using all of it. I am using only 8 ounces. This is 12. So let's see. Logically, this would be 6. Oh, hold on. Okay. Scale, go. Yolanda! Seeping your scope on tour de periscope. Scoping your scope on tour de... Oh, so I'm like, it's very meta here, I guess. So, wow. Yay! Hello, Periscope people. How you doing? Are you on an Apple TV? 6.7 ounces. We're looking for 8. Come on, 8. Come on, 8. 8.7. Too much. That's close enough. Alright, so this goes in here. Hopefully we'll find some use for this salt pork later. I'm gonna get another plastic bag to store that in. I hate my hands get all pumped up like this. How long does it take to defrost chicken? I'm not defrosting chicken. I mean, it's just absolute coincidence that I happen to have like frozen sitting there. Just worked out in an emergency. Never would have imagined that I'd have a backup. I thought I was gonna have to say, "Hey everyone, we're shutting down. We're running out to the market." Unless you want to stare at the empty kitchen until I run out and back. Or items slipped out of the bag and trunk of car that happened near the package of hamburger. I think, no, he looked in the car. He looked in the car for his guacamole mix and it wasn't there. So, it's back at the fresh market. That's where it is. You know, I asked him, I said, "Did you get the chicken?" Because I hadn't seen it, but I didn't go digging around. He just said, "Yeah, I did." So, salt pork, step 1. We're cutting this into, well, into something. We'll come later, grab the receipt, and go over to the complaint. That doesn't help you now. What else would you like to do? Have that best friend appropriate? Yes, have that. Hold on a second. I saw the serrano pepper, comma, but I think I still need a red pepper, period. I forgot to get one earlier, period. Okay. Texting while streaming. Landing point, hey there, Callie, you can quickly unwrap it and put it in the microwave for 5 minutes per pound on defrost setting. Thank you, Callie. Unwrap, put in the microwave for 5 minutes per pound on defrost setting. Yeah, I have a black and a yellow, thanks to the fine folks at the Funky Fairy. They are super cool. I had ordered a yellow one, and then I had a yellow one, and then I was cooking something with port, and then I splashed it accidentally onto it and I didn't notice, and it went through the wash without being pre-treated or anything, and it stained really badly, and I bought a second yellow apron, and they were so nice. They gave me a black one too, which is really nice. So I can mix things up now. I have that option. So they're super cool. I hope they're doing really great this holiday season in their shop. But we're cutting up salt pork. So, once more, thanks again for the tips on the defrosting. I will do that as soon as I finish chopping this up. The dish, again. So what happened was that during the Spanish Inquisition and such, rotate dish if you don't, yes, it has the turntable thingy. Thanks. During the Spanish Inquisition, the Jewish people were like, you know, very scared, and they tried to escape any way they could, and some of them wound up in Portugal. And if you saw our Sao Tome and Principe stream, you heard the sad story of what happened to some of them in Portugal, that they kind of owed taxes, and the Portuguese king put them on a boat and said, "Hey, you all go to these islands over there," and then they died. Mostly, which is, you know, super tragic. In this case, though, some of them worked their way through Brazil and Holland, and then somehow managed to get to Suriname, and they ran sort of plantations near the capital of Paramaribo. But then there were slave revolts. And so then they kind of escaped over to Paramaribo, and little by little, they kind of, you know, there's fewer of them. But they did bring this dish, which became sort of a national dish. Now, normally this dish would be made with potatoes, but potatoes didn't grow in Suriname. So they decided to pick a different thing in place of potatoes, and that's what we're going to see later. But it mutated. The dish mutated. It's become something of a national dish, hence the salt pork. There is a Hindi version because there's a large Hindustani population, which is like about 30% of the people in Suriname are Hindustani. A Javanese version because they brought over Javanese workers from Indonesia. And so there's a version for that, and there's also a Chinese version with lychee. The Hindu version uses piccoli, and the Javanese version uses soy sauce. So I'm going to wash my hands, and I'm going to do that thing with the chicken. Okay, I'm going to see how much I got here weight-wise. I still have it in the bag, so I don't have salmonella on the outside. Okay, let's see how much this weighs with the package. I'm looking for about, what's a pound? Or half a pound? This is 1.3 pounds, so you said 5 minutes per pound, eh? We will give that a shot. I can't believe that I just happen to have this. I just can't believe that. I mean, sometimes you get lucky. This is a time of getting lucky. Okay. Clean hand, dirty hand. Okay. I'm gonna cover that. You said 5 minutes per pound, hey? So that's a pound. So like what, about 6 minutes on hey, I'm hungry. Oh, well, it'll be a while before dinner, so you might want to have a snack. Okay, so I'm gonna cover this with the microwave. I hate using the microwave so much. I really, really hate using the microwave. But desperate times call for desperate measures. My little microwave covery thing. Alright, you go in here. It's got the sensor defrost, etc., but I hate the microwave so much. So much that I'm not even sure where the damn defrost is. Speed defrost, auto defrost. Repeat. Select food. Repeat. Oh god, I hate this thing. Ground beef, no. Chops, no. Bone in. Poultry, yes. Enter weight. 1.3 pounds. Press start. Well, that's pretty, I actually programmed that for the first time. Yeah, system sounds good. Cover with wax paper. Oh, do you think the little covery thing won't do? I hope that works with the little microwave cover thingy. Okay, let me lose this. Okay. I would go with 4, then check. It's going down to 3:16 now, so it's not even. I don't think it was even 4 minutes. So, we'll see. Meanwhile, I need to do something I don't like to do. because I had the option of getting canned tomatoes or not canned tomatoes. And I got not canned tomatoes. I hear you. I hear you. Well, I got fresh tomatoes, but that means I have to peel and dice the tomatoes. Not something I enjoy doing. So, that's what's happening over there. Let's see what's happening over here. Question: did they defrost? Answer: not so much. Not so much. Not so much at all. The cover thing might hold heat and speed up the process. Well, it certainly didn't do it enough, because this needs more time. That did not do it. You lied. You lying thing. Okay, one more time. Start, press, start. Okay, it's giving me another like 2 minutes on the speed defrost. So let's see if that works. Kelly, I'm old school as my microwave is old and low power. I have to set and turn. Ah, yes. I had one of those. Thankfully we moved, so first we got rid of it and then we moved. And then we wound up with this, which was the exact same one that we had where we were before. Okay. So I have to deal with these tomatoes. I have 4 tomatoes that I have to address. Hello, tomatoes. Gotta clean that. I gave myself a lot of time to prep here, but even then I think I may not have given myself enough time. Again, to recap, we're making palm, which is a Surinamese casserole, 1-pot dish. I am cooking half of it because we're only cooking for 2. And we had an emergency with the chicken, which it's not solid. Go again at 4 minutes at 2500 power or defrost setting. Then you have to allow to set and finish. Oh. To set and finish. That's a new one. I so hate microwaves. I'm gonna let this just sit here for a little bit because I don't need it for a while. Because then we'll see. But now I need to put it aside and wash my hands again. Okay, give it another go. Really? Okay, one more time. Ay, carajo, esta cosa. I had not bargained on this. I really had not. Oh, so it does it in stages, I guess, because I already had it set for another like 1 minute and 53 seconds. So meanwhile, tomatoes. I wash this. I have to peel and dice and skin these tomatoes, and thankfully I know how to do that now. Which means I need to make a bowl of ice water. Don't ask me why I wound up with this and how I wound up with, well, I didn't do my own grocery shopping. Come on, let go. So I need to wash it. So I have two different types of tomatoes. Wash the tomatoes. And take out the damn sticker. Do you see Top Chef, anyone? That the first episode, this guy who's, you know, is going around saying proudly how he's known as the pig in the kitchen, and he's making the stuff with tomatoes, and he's just blending them all and blending the stickers too. I was thinking, I don't want to eat at your restaurant, buddy. Okay, so the one thing I know about peeling tomatoes is you score, make little X's around the bottom of the tomato. We'll be back with you in a second, Mr. Chicken. But like I said, this prepped, and then there's cooking, and then it goes in the oven for 2 hours, so that's why there are 2 streams scheduled. Because once it goes in the oven, we're going to go offline for 2 hours. I'll take care of much needed stuff to do around here, and then we'll do another one. Blending the stickers is disgusting. Oh wait, set plate of chicken inside your oven if not preheating, or leave in microwave to finish thawing to utilize heat in oven. Inside your oven if not preheating. It's not preheating, or leave in microwave to finish thawing to utilize the heat in the oven. Oh, well, I guess that makes sense. Oh, let stand. It's saying right there. Let stand covered. It's just telling me. What do you know? Hey, Niels! I see you there. Okay, so I need to make a... Thank you for the help. I'm just not one who associates with the... I used to live with the microwave. Microwave was my only friend. And now not. Okay, it's gonna get loud here. Bolo ice water. Okay, more water. So my water is boiling over there now. And I need, I'm going to get my little spider to fish out the, you're very welcome, these emergency things happen, it's just part of cooking. I'm just so relieved that I just happened to have a pound of chicken thighs. Just absolutely coincidentally happened to have exactly what I needed in the freezer. You're doing great, Grief. Thank you, Callie. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm not getting you too close to the stove because apparently when you get too hot, it gets dim and the phone isn't happy. So, boiling water, tomatoes. How many seconds does it go in? Like 30 seconds, 20 seconds, something like that? Okay, I'm gonna say 20 seconds. Oh shoot, it's not covered. Not enough water. Not enough hot water. Ugh. Murphy's Law of Cooking. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. Good times. Of course, now it's not boiling anymore because I just poured colder water in. Yeah, no, hi. I'm melting, yes. Yes. You know, the Wicked Witch, it must have been a very smelly person. Never bathing. Tammy, hey, thanks for liking the restream. Okay, waiting for this to boil. While it waits to boil, let me just double check the basic thing that I need to know. How to peel a tomato. Uh, 45 to 60 seconds. Okay, I was wrong on the 10 seconds. I have to laugh these things off. Well, you know, what else can you do? I just ran my 10 miles today and it's hot. It's like right before freaking Christmas and it's like, feels like 90 degrees. Not happy about that. Tammy, Merry Christmas to you too. Santa tree, snowman to you. Okay, so let me get my timer here. No, wrong button. This has been such a day. Such a damn day, it's not even funny. Okay. Okay. Okay, it's boiling enough. So, hopefully you'll get covered this time. Okay, go. Start. Okay. Are those Apple Watches any good? Yes, I love it. You know, everything can stand improvement, but I mean, I love it. It helps me out with everything. Timing, if I'm in the grocery store and say the husband sends me a text, and I don't have to pull out the phone, I just read it and I can just dictate back to it and just send it. Or I can send a one-word response or just an emoji, you know, really quickly without having to pull out the phone. Normally, for the running, it works really great. Today, it decided to act up. But normally I just say, you know, start on here, and then I can just lift the watch and I can see, you know, how fast I'm going and the distance I've gone, my pace at any point, and I can pause it. Out you go into the ice water. 1, 2, 3. Out you go into the ice water. Out you go into the ice water. Out you go into the ice water. There, ta-da! Yes, we know. Thank you. You've been helpful. The business of the boarding passes on the airplanes is really handy, except for the fact that you have to put it down on their little thingy, so I'd have to go like this. And so in that case, I just use the phone. But it's handy, like I walk into the Apple store, I walk to my gate, and it knows where I am. Among other things. The weather app and stuff. The apps will just get better. There will be better versions of the phone, too. What you cooking, Sir Cliffy? Tammy, I am cooking what's called POM, P-O-M, POM, which is now, I don't know the pronunciation. Jurgen, maybe you can help me out with that. Pomenter, pomtater. It's the word they use for the starch, which we'll be using, which we'll be discussing in moments. It's a one-pot casserole dish. We're prepping, and after we prep, then we are going to put it in the oven, and it's been in the oven for 2 hours. And that time we'll be going away, and we'll come back at 7:45 for the big reveal. Because last time I did something that took hours and I said goodbye, I didn't show the reveal. So that reveal is going to be very brief. So you may want to plan accordingly. Okay, back to you so we can get some juice going here. Okay, so we have our tomatoes here, which I have boiled and scored and yada yada yada. So now I'm going to peel that sucker. Okay, and dice them. Now I don't, well, I mean I should core them too, obviously. I just don't know if I should clear out the innards also. So I need a trash. So that's what's going. So I did not know how to peel a tomato before. Thankfully I do now. And now it's not quite as scary as it used to be. Though I still never get it completely right and get very frustrated. Like I said, I had to Google how many seconds to leave it in the hot water. You know those studies saying that people are sort of offshoring information in their brain? So it used to be that, you would know stuff. And now people are kind of saying, oh, that information is available online. Their brains are like putting it away and figuring, if I need it, I can always get it online. It's just a weird psychological process that's happening in people now. So that's kind of how I feel about this. How much was the one you're wearing? It's the least expensive one. I don't remember numbers. It's the least expensive one. I got a couple of watch bands for it. One fancier one for kind of going out, and this is the sport one. But the thing is, they look the same. They're both black. I was wearing the fancier one like all the time, which is fine because it's magnetic, etc., etc. But I shouldn't have worn it that often because the metal clasp on it was rubbing against my my wrist and it was getting to be uncomfortable. So I switched to the sport one, and thankfully I had it to switch to. Not sure about the pronunciation. Dutch border is still some 15 miles from me. Ah. There you go. Where did I see that joke? What did I see? There was something I was watching. There's a joke. Oh, shoot. Where is it? Something about why? Wait, the Dutch and the Belgians cough differently? Have different coughs? Because the Belgian cough is Flemish? That's a joke. Anne Marie, thank you for the restream. We are peeling our tomatoes for our palm. The husband pointed out that yes, this being palm, it's the dish I've been making with the shortest name since we started, tied with a dish from Africa, a porridge called pap. So we've made pap and we've made palm, and we're making palm. So until I make something that has only 2 letters, this will be the shortest named dish. Any case, I don't want to really get into the details of the starch until I get to it because, there's information about it, and I don't want to, jump the gun. But this is going to involve the chicken, which is hopefully defrosted, sitting in the oven, in the microwave right now, because of our little emergency. We have our salt pork here, and we're going to need some garlic cloves, and some celery, and what else? And nutmeg, and also I feel bad that one of the things that normally one would use there, which would be hard to find anywhere but where we are, that one item, oddly enough, in the time that you'd most be able to find it, I wasn't able to find it. because normally this one could use sour oranges. Anyone ever dealt with or heard of sour oranges? Raise your hand if you have. Well, I get to you. Well, I should core this for one thing. This is music from Suriname, in case you're wondering. Blanched tomatoes? Yes, I blanched them, and then I scored the bottoms, scored the little bottoms, and then I peeled them, and it magically worked. So now I'm coring them, and then I'm trying to decide how. I don't think I'm gonna, you know, seed them. Didn't say anything about that, and when you get a can of diced tomatoes, I think it has all the innards too, so I think I shouldn't go overboard in trying to be persnickety about that. Bitter oranges, I know. Never heard of sour oranges. Okay, so here's the deal. Sour oranges are smaller than, you know, your average orange that you'll find. Also, they look very different. They look, how can I explain? Well, I mean, oranges that you'll get, you know, in the grocery store, at least here, are bright orange, and come from California. Florida oranges are more mottled, kind of ugly looking, but they have a slightly different taste. Sour oranges are smaller and can, if you don't know any better, resemble Florida oranges. There's a reason I mentioned that, because I have a story. Okay, so, but the thing is, sour oranges are very sour. They also don't have a lot of liquid in them. I discovered that one sort of the hard way. But I'm just gonna dice these seeds and all. The sour oranges. So they don't have a lot of juice. They if you don't know any better, they look sort of like Florida oranges, and they're not used by many cuisines because the tree is not that common. However, here in South Florida, the Cuban population does eat sour oranges. They make a mojo, a cure, a rub for the roast pork, which is the traditional dish eaten at Christmas Eve, lechon asado, which means roast pork. The Puerto Ricans, that's me, make it with a different rub, but the Cubans make it a rub using sour oranges. There's a reason I'm telling you this. It has nothing to do with this dish, it's just a story I'm telling you. So, ergo, we are being in South Florida at Christmas time. You would think sour oranges would be in the grocery store, especially the ones that I found sour oranges before. They were not. That was disappointing. So I'm going to have to fake it with a combination of regular oranges and lemons to sort of achieve the sourness. So, but sour oranges would normally be used because you'd be able to find them. I've used the sour oranges for when I made my own Cuban roast pork. Again, everything is at cliffyland.com, right on the shirt. You can check out the blog at cliffyland.com and see the disaster that was my Cuban experience, which is very embarrassing since, you know, I'm Puerto Rican from Miami, which means Cuban by default. But, back to the sour oranges. Once upon a time, I was a little kid, and in the backyard, we had a tree. We had a number of trees. We had banana trees and mango trees and avocado trees, and there was a big tree that had very large thorns on the trunk, which was, you know, kind of intimidating. It was like the one tree that you don't want to climb. Okay? So on this tree grew a fruit, and my mom one day said to me and the neighbor girl, here's a ladder, here's a machete, and here's a brand new big plastic wastebasket. How odd that they would not be available there versus here. Say normally, I mean, I've gone to the grocery store and they've just been sitting there. It's just when I need it, they weren't there. Tomato inside juices and seeds, I call the caviar. Okay. Anyway, so the tree, backyard, thorns, is a sour orange tree. I now know. So my mom says to me and the neighbor girl, here's a ladder, here's a machete, here's a brand new, plastic wastebasket. Go climb the tree and chop off all the fruit, the sour oranges from the tree, and put them in the wastebasket. And then I want you to go outside and sell them to all the Cubans that are walking to church. This is around Christmas time. And, well, I thought, well, I'll chop the things off, but the whole premise of sitting out front, making a card table, and selling sour oranges to the Cubans going to the church down the street for their Christmas dinner sounded kind of ridiculous to me for a number of reasons. One, I had no idea about the Cubans and their roast pork and their mojo. But more importantly, no one walks. In South Florida, no one would be walking anyway. So being a couple of brats, we sat there for a while and got very, very frustrated as people drove by and nothing was happening. Now, mind you, I did not know the difference between a sour orange and an orange other than the way it looked. And my mother said, here's a magic marker right on the outside of the wastebasket, sour oranges in English and Spanish, sour oranges, 5 cents. And I said, fine. So we sat there, nothing happened. So I said, you know what, this isn't going to work. Now, the neighborhood I grew up in was very international. We had people from every Latin American country you can think of living somewhere on the block. And one, in Miami, the word is Anglo, non-Hispanic family who lived on the block. It was the one family that nobody knew. So they just kind of lived there. So the neighbor girl and I got frustrated, and we took the very heavy wastebasket, heavy with sour oranges, to the Colombian neighbor. No, yes, Colombian neighbor next door. And I ring the doorbell, and then I speak to the woman in Spanish, and I'm saying, here, would you like to buy some of our oranges? They're 5 cents a piece. And she looks at them and goes, are those sweet oranges or sour oranges? And I said, well, they're sour oranges. And she says, oh, honey, I have no use for sour oranges. I'm so sorry. And I said, that ain't gonna work. And this thing was heavy, to drag this big, heavy, wastebasket filled with this fruit in it. And I said, this ain't gonna work. Give me that marker. So I took out the word sour, and I made them 25 cents. And then we just dragged them around the block. And we rang on every doorbell, and every Latino family would come out, look, and see immediately that there were sour oranges and say no thank you. Kept going till got to the Americans on the corner. And I said, oh, these are oranges. And he says, oh, those look really great. I'll take a whole bunch. Here's $5. Terrific. Thank you so much. Bye. He took off, bought all the oranges, and left. I felt really bad for them. What would happen the next day when they tried to make orange juice with these very sour oranges. But when we got back up front, my mother and the girl's grandmother were going, where did they go? Where did they go? We're going to call the police. And I said, look at all the money we made. And then they saw what we did with the wastebasket and scratching. And they said, okay, no one's ever going to speak to us now. Time to wash. So that was my story to kill time while I diced tomatoes. Ta-da! Chevalier, thank you for the like in the restream. Ah, I'm so tired. Okay, so let's take a look at our chicken. Is it adequately defrosted? Adequately defrosted is what I would call it. Yay! This does have bones, but that's okay. And normally this dish calls for the... thank you for the lol, Anne-Marie. I appreciate it. You never know what's happening, across this format. The actual dish calls for it to have bones and deal with the bones later. We'll deal with the bones later. Okay, moving on. Onion, 1 onion, peel and chop. You know about that microwave? It's I've come to like really try not to use it. I have a Valencia orange tree and they can be very sour. Yes, yes they can. Thank you, Tammy. I don't know what I'm hearing. It must be outside. Oh yes, the microwave. I mentioned before this one woman who has cooked all her way around the world, and she has blog. She finished a couple years ago, and she has a book deal about her life experience and so forth. And she's really lovely. It's the Global Table Adventure. Check it out. She's very nice. She tells stories in her blog as she goes about the experience. But one of them was how she really does not want a microwave. And her husband said, oh, here we can put it in the, no, I don't want it. And then she went out to the garage and saw it was like stored in the garage. And she said, no, I don't want it in the house. I don't want a microwave. Trust me, there's nothing I can do. The microwave is just not going to be good for me. I don't want the microwave in the house. In the garage, sell it. So I thought that was pretty daring. Whereas before I started this whole cooking thing, I mean, if I wasn't eating out or ordering pizza, the microwave was the only friend. So, was the only chef in the house. Chef Frigidaire. What is that sound? Oh, someone's running a... Oh, you won't believe what happened. So I just got back in from my 10-mile run, just like before I started this, which is why I'm still very thirsty. And we live in South Florida. I was coming in the door from my run, right there, and I couldn't get in the house. Why couldn't I get in the house, you may ask? Was the door locked? Did I forget my key? Or could it have been that a very large hawk was standing right on my gate, giving me the evil eye, and not moving? I posted on Facebook. Scary. In fact, I bet I can show you. You won't believe it. I'll show you. I'll show you here. There's the hawk right now. There's a picture of the hawk sitting on my fence that I couldn't get in the house because he was like very scary and he'd bite my face off. Eventually he flew away. Once you get to know how to use them, it is very useful and does not heat up the house. Yes, that is very true. But that hawk was very scary. And now I know why I haven't seen many squirrels nearby lately. But we have a lot of hawks, ospreys, and this time of year, usually around the garbage dumps, vultures. The very smelly, gross vultures. But they hang out by the dump miles and miles away. Cool pick, yes. But it was scary. I was coming in, I was like, ah, oh my god. I mean, the thing was huge. I mean, it was, I'd say about like that tall. With its head was like this big. I had to, that's the zoom, as close as I could zoom. Obviously I didn't want to get too close to the thing. But that's the closest it's ever come. There's one day I was running out for a run, and there was one kind of hanging on to a tree in a windstorm. And there was a hurricane was coming. And I was thinking, wow, it's very close. Don't bite me. Don't kill me. But this was really close. This is like, don't go in the house. It's my house close. We've got all sorts of weird stuff. Whoa. Lunch must have been nearby. I have falcons and red-tailed hawks. Aha! They are impressive creatures. Yes, they are. There's a wildlife rescue about 5 miles from here. And we've gone there, and it's lovely. I mean, if any animal needs, wildlife needs to be rescued, you just take it to them, and they'll do everything they can, which is super cool. But they have hawks and ospreys and stuff that they're nursing back to health. But it's kind of wild when you're there and they have owls, and you're just kind of staring at them, and then one decided to, some large amount of liquid substance came out of it, and very rapidly, and it smelled like dead mouse. I was like, run! Smell's gonna kill you. So now we're listening to Disco Party by some other Surinamese artist. But they have Florida black bears and a Florida panther there. And once there was an ibis. I mean, there are lots of ibises nearby. I mean, tons. Tons and tons. Like, some people have pigeons, we have ibises. But there's one that was hopping around outside a couple of years ago, had a bum leg, and I was like, oh, the poor thing. And I called them, and they said, well, if you can capture it and bring it here, we'll take it. But we can't go capture it for you. And then they said, that in the wild that happens all the time. They just learn to live on one leg. I said, oh, okay. And then it flew away. We have had big turtles, a big giant turtle come up on the patio. I mean, a big turtle. I don't know how it got under the fence. Must have burrowed. Had snakes. What else? Giant lizards. I mean, regular lizards and big, giant lizards. The falcons and hawks eat their catches in my pepper tree. Aha! That hawk was huge. Now the vultures here are bigger than a small dog. Huge and land close on the patio railing. Yeah. I mean, you just see them flying around the when you go out by the turnpike, and you see them over the landfill. But when you get close to them, they're smelly and gross and bleh. I mean, they're not attractive creatures, but they are also smelly, which does not help. Okay, 2 more things to do here. And I am already behind. Nuts. I have 3 minutes to do this, so I need to get moving. 3 garlic cloves to peel and dice. But no, the wildlife here is crazy. I told you the other day, in 1 week, how when I was running, I mean, I told the story when it happened. In 1 week, I almost stepped on one run, in order, it was a snake that jumped like right in front of my feet. Then a rabbit that jumped right in front of my feet. And then there was, what was the third thing? A frog. And after the frog, a naked baby. The naked baby was not alone. The other ones were alone. Oh, and then I had a raccoon the next day. Hi, fly friends, thank you for liking the restream. Anne, hello, thank you. Hello, I'm trying to get this garlic clove out of here. 3, 1, 2, 2.5. Come on, give me 3. 3. It will do. This is not good to do with moist hands. Okay. How are you doing? Thank you, friends. Thank you, Anne. Heidi, hi. Okay. I am behind. I need to move. We like to move it. Okay. Okay, garlic clove number 1. Garlic clove number 2. Like I said, again, I kind of have the recipe. Thing is, though, that when I first started this, I just thought that was a simple operation. Take everything, divide by 2. But now I sort of come to the conclusion that things that add flavor rather than volume, I don't. I leave it the way it is, which obviously changes the flavor. But I just got tired of like losing half the flavor just because I was losing half the chicken or whatever. So I'm kind of eyeballing, guessing how much to divide and how much not to for this dish. Again, we're making pom, P-O-M, which is named for pomteer, which is what the Dutch, the Surinamese, call the starch we will be using, which I will introduce you to later. It is a one-pot casserole dish. It will have to stew cook in the oven for 2 hours. So we're going to go offline during that time, and then come back unveiling time around 7:45 Eastern time, if you're watching this live. So that's why there's a second stream scheduled, in case you were wondering. That one will be very brief. It'll be like, ta-da, thank you, goodbye. Love the apron, thank you, is from the fine folks at the Funky Fairy. You can find them at meerkattees.com, meerkattees.com. Embroidery stuff, backpacks, you know, stuffed animals, all sorts of stuff. They're fantastic, love them. Ron, long time no see, how you doing? I was thinking about you the other day. Thanks, Cliffy, I'll pop in later. Great, Tammy. Ron, yeah, I was actually, I did my 13-mile run on Sunday, and I almost got to by where you live. Almost. Just almost. That's why I turned around. How have you been? We are working on our pom. I need to do one more thing. One more thing. Well, more than one more thing. I need to dice 2 celery stalks. Okay. Cleaned this earlier. I bought this earlier too. And we've moved on to another Surinamese artist. I'll still need to wash them again because they don't look too great. Screw it. 1, get out. 2. Okay. Not bad, doing more on blab. Yeah, I kind of was guessing that was probably the case. But I just never, especially with the holidays and everything, there's so much in December that I have to do that I never have the time for anything. I mean, just for this, like the shopping, my running, but a million other things. In fact, in 2 hours that's just going to be in the oven, I'm going to be wrapping presents. And I think the husband was kind of startled that I hadn't wrapped any yet. Either that or he did not have a clue why I was telling him to not come right home after work. Go figure. Okay, so let's get a bowl for you over here. And we are dicing, what are we doing? Dicing, yes, dicing. Okay. Lose the end. And I had to Google Surinamese music artists, and I got lucky. Last FM. Is anyone familiar with Last FM? Anyone? It's been around for a while, and it's kind of it's a music thing. People use it for different things. Some people use it to, you know, stream music from it, and some people stream music from elsewhere and just kind of record it, or join communities and talk about music. But the weird part is it's like almost entirely people outside of the U.S., which I find interesting. And like lots of Russian and Ukrainian and, you know, what have you. But I'm on it. Have not heard of it. December is always hectic month. Yes, it is. Yeah, it's been around for a while. They've had their downs, their big downs, their way downs. They redesigned the website, which I kind of understand because you know, they weren't going to get any further with the website that they had, with it going down every so often. But now it's working, and it's handy. You know, I mean, I use it. I keep track of my music since I have the OCD, of what I listen to and how much I listen to it, and but it's a good, you know, good site to get biographical information on the artists, and you can find other people who have similar music tastes and like listen to the same stuff. The weird part for me is that always is like, oh, somebody is like a, you know, 12-year-old in Belarus, or, you know, something like that. It's like, oh, okay. Wondering why from outside the USA. I don't know. U2 lover. Hey, thank you for the restream. Telex, love the apron. Again, yes, thank you. From the fine folks at the Funky Fairy, meerkattees.com. Check them out. Buy stuff from them. They're very nice. Are we done with the chopping? Well, not exactly. As I was telling my sour orange story before, that means that I have to fake the sour orange flavor, and hence I need to get my, oh Lord in heaven. Ah, good. I was afraid that was missing too. Okay, so to fake, we almost had another thing that was missing in the missing grocery bag. To fake the sour orange flavor, we're going to juice 1 orange and 2 lemons. That kind of approximates the sour orange. Oh, incidentally, since I'm looking at this particular thing and thinking about sour oranges, and I already told my sour orange story, which I swore I would retire. There's a dish, one of my favorite dishes that I made so far, and one of the easiest, which I made for Congo, for Congo Kinshasa, aka the Democratic Republic of Congo. If you look on the blog at cliffyland.com, blogs are posted there every Wednesday. Has pictures, links to the original recipes, photos of everything, reviews, information about the countries, and links to these videos right here. If you go there and check out the Congo post, you will see that I did this dish, mushroom dish, which, if you like mushrooms, was out of this world and so insanely simple. It was all you basically had to do was take 3 types of mushrooms and fry them until all the water comes out, and then just cover it with lemon juice. I like the sour orange story. Thank you, Callie. I appreciate that. But the I lost my train of thought. Oh, Congo. This dish, cover it with lemons, and that's it. That's the dish. You know, salt it, and it's super tasty. In one of my few efforts at experimenting, I tried the same dish with sour oranges, and it worked really well also. But I had to buy a lot more sour oranges because there's very little juice comes out of a sour orange, as opposed to a lemon or a lime or an orange. You know what? Oh, good, I do have a juicer. Okay, so we're getting the juice of 2 lemons and an orange to fake this sour orange. And really, it's such a damn shame. I mean, Christmas time in South Florida, you'd think, and that's when they're in bloom too, or you know, they're ripe, and they coincide. So, oopsie doopsie. Next time. So I have this idea for after I finish Zimbabwe, aside from giving the husband the promised vacation. And doing some of the territories that I didn't get to do because they weren't UN member states. Your disputed places, your not disputed territories. your non-UN member states, your things like that. But after doing that, I'm thinking the challenge 2.0, what to do. I have big plans, but I need to do more investigation to make them a reality. But you'll be there for it. So thank you again for following and liking. Incidentally, you can follow here on Meerkat, again, if you're not already. Get informed when the streams start and are scheduled. Also, you can follow me on Facebook. Follow Cliffy Lamb, The Global Cooking Challenge. Also on Instagram and on Twitter at Cliffyland. On Pinterest. And now on YouTube. You can find us on YouTube. Wow, that's not what I expected on the inside. Not at all. Okay. This is like the second time I'm using this. So obviously I don't know what I'm doing. Seems pretty straightforward. Wow, this is a blood orange. I did not think that, I just said get an orange, so. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. And the other half. This should hold on in some fashion. I don't know why it's not. There should be a notch here. There's one notch there. Okay. So it doesn't rotate. Okay. Yeah, I bought this months ago. The last time I needed to do something in orange and I wound up not needing it. And it's been sitting here ever since. Good thing I have it. This really looks like a red grapefruit, but it's obviously an orange. Well, I hope the flavor isn't insanely different. Okay. Oh, it has two sides, doesn't it? Live and learn. Okay, well that's as good as that's gonna get. Okay. Orange juice. Not you. And lemon juice. And that's gonna approximate the sour orange. Okay, so that goes aside. Finally, now we're just our dry goods, and then we'll be finally ready. 15 minutes late already. Gotta move faster. Okay, so we need a tablespoon of nutmeg and a tablespoon of sugar. So here. Nutmeg, you're here somewhere. No. Also no. Hold on. There you are. And sugar. No. Yes. Okay. Okay. Looks like blood orange rather than a grapefruit, yes. Hey Cliffy, popping in to say hello. Hello, how are you doing? Tachi. Hello, yes, this is an odd night, like I said. We're prepping and then cooking the palm, and then it's gonna go in the oven for 2 hours, and then we're gonna go away, and then we're gonna come back for the unveiling at 7:45, or in this case it might be later. But we'll come back on at 7:45 anyway. 1 tablespoon nutmeg coming right up. And then 1 tablespoon of sugar. I need a sugar container. This is ratchet. Okay. I did that. Okay, since I couldn't find a red chili pepper, because, again, the weirdness of the markets in this particular town, I have a Serrano. It should be a red chili pepper. I am making a substitution. It's not the substitution I wanted to make, but again, I did do my own shopping today because the holidays and things are busy and the husband was doing the shopping for me, so I appreciate that. So I need to find my Serrano chili pepper in the midst of all this. Okay, so we're using a Serrano chili pepper. Bye! Bye, Ron. See you later. Merry Christmas. Okay, so I'm using a Serrano pepper. I'm just gonna slit it, and that's all. That is all. The thing is going in its entirety into the dish. Now, since I like stuff hot, we're going to slit it to let the spiciness come out when it sits in the meal. So there's that. Okay, yay, we're finally ready to get moving. Okay, so chicken. Merry Christmas to you too, Royce. And so chicken. We're seasoning the chicken with the, where's the salt? Bloody hell. Salt. With salt. Pepper. And the nutmeg. And now this is going to be the mega hand washing moment. So you rub this all into the chicken on all sides to coat it well. Okay. Alrighty, so now that we've got that done, we're gonna move to the stove, finally! 17 minutes late. Oh yes, we have you. So hopefully have enough juice for this operation. Okay, so we move to the stove. And we're gonna heat up some canola oil. 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. I say that should be enough. Maybe you get a better view that way. Don't fall over. Okay, so heating you up. I need to get my tongs and my spatula, and then gonna get my chicken. And our salt pork also. And then that's gonna sear, and then they're all gonna wind up in this bowl over here. And then we'll continue. Okay. This, by the way, is the last night of this for the year also. So Suriname will be our last country for the year. Tony, thank you for liking the restream. How you doing, my good man? Waiting for that to get hotter. I never get the timing right on that. Never. Well, it does that, onion, tomato, celery. Okay, I'm gonna move the other stuff here in the order. The onions, tomatoes, garlic, and celery. Oh, good. Okay. Doing well. Good to know. So I think it is time here to add the chicken to the heat. No, not square. Okay. For the first time, we don't start with onions. Can you believe it? So we're gonna add the chicken in. How about not plopping it into hot oil? And, you know, the salt pork. Those bananas look really tasty. Yes, we always have bananas on hand. Perpetually. I know, crowding the pan, you don't have to tell me. So I want to get a sear on these. Yeah, we always have to... You have to make, for the bananas, we have to make a special trip every time we want bananas, which is like every other day. Because the Publix only provides bananas from one company, and I do not want to patronize that company. So we have to go find bananas from the other local sources where the bananas don't come from that company. Which makes buying bananas a pain in the butt. So, we're getting good sear on these. I'm going to be right back. You stay right there. Okay. And we're going to take a... flip these over a little bit. There's something wonky happening with this. I've complained before that it's not flat bottom. And I realize now that's affected my cooking. Scrap the spices out of your chicken bowl. Why not? Lemon. I don't want to... I mean, if I had the patience and the time, I would, like, get a really good sear on the skin, like with the paella. But, I don't have the time. I realized that the bottom not being... Oops, should have been scraped, not scraped. Yeah, I know what you know. Yes. But when I was cooking something just the other day, I was realizing the heat in the middle of the pan was a lot hotter than it is anywhere else. So the onions that were sitting in the middle were burning, and the other ones were around it weren't cooking. And I think it's the pot, which sucks. You know, I would not have thought that until I noticed it firsthand. Also, there was a Top Chef guy a couple of years ago that he was complaining that that was why his dish was all hunked up. And then in Last Chance Kitchen, his challenge was to take the a whole bunch of beat up cookware and make his dish with really beat up, old, messed up cookware. Hey Danny, how you doing? Good to see ya. So technically, I just want to get a sear on these, but I'm trying to render some fat and out of the salt pork, and try to get some sort of crisp on the skin, which means more time. Time that I don't have. Even though it's this early, I'm way late. So I think that's kind of as good as that's going to get right now. Because like I said, I don't have... It's going to end up cooking more later. Good to hear, Danny. So let's see. Because this is going to have to do. Not a crispy skin. I don't have, oh, that Santa might be, I think Santa is going to bring me, a cast iron skillet. Finally. Because there's the exact thing that would be good for. Because then I could get it really hot and sear the skin and all that business. But with a non-stick, I don't know. It's going to have to do. It's going to have to do. Away with me. So the chicken, reserved out here, pork coming out. Place wooden spoon or spatula center of pot and pour cooler. Okay, what's that? Place wooden spoon or spatula in center of pot and pour cooler liquid onto that. Pour the cooler liquid onto the spatula that's sitting in the middle, or the spoon, so that cools off the center portion. Interesting. I will try that some other time though. Okay, next we have our onions. Going in here, am I right? Wow. Been there for a good while. Okay. Focus. So we're gonna. It looks like there's a certain amount of caramelization expected here on the onions. Trying to keep things away from the middle. I learned this, and no more deformed pans. Oh, wait a minute. By pouring cold liquid onto a wooden spoon, you disperse the cold, not deform the pan. I learned this and no more deform. Oh, so there's something I did to deform the pan? So does that fix the pan? Or is that... I'm still unclear. More water. See, it's right there. The middle. Hear it? I just got these for Christmas last year. Parents gave me this whole set. It's super sweet. I still have the ones I used before. Also, when pouring hot gravy into glass or china tureen to prevent Also, when pouring hot gravy into glass or china tureen to prevent breaking. Pouring onto the wooden spoon won't fix it, but will prevent it from happening. Ah, creo. So something I did caused this, is what I'm sensing. See, it's just right in the middle. With 7 or 8 minutes, it's saying, on the onions. To caramelize. And then, well, I can might as well put this away. And get out my baking dish while we wait. That this is all going to wind up in when it's all said and done. This is not where it needs to be. Not where it needs to be. I'm also afraid I'm going to run out of Surinamese music. It's just going to be me and my babbling. But nothing to occupy the silence other than the sizzling of the onions. Okay, so tomato, celery, and garlic next. And the sugar and the water. And then the bouillon. Okay, I need to get a bouillon cube out. Yes, unfortunately you did it by adding liquids that were significantly cooler than the contents of the pot or pan. Ah! Aha! That is good to know. Sad, but good to know. I'm getting one chicken bouillon cube out. What extra large cube? Are they supposed to be extra large? Brought to you by Unilever. Okay. Still waiting for it to turn kind of golden brown here. On Mr. Onions. Starting to get there. Significantly cooler. Well, of course I couldn't pinpoint when that happened, but yeah. Thank you for the info. Okay, I think we're almost there. Okay, so now that this has got serving spoon in tureen, protects tureen from sudden change in temp that can cause it to break. Tureen. Yes. Okay, so here we go. Moving on, we're going to add our tomatoes. Our celery. And our crushed garlic. And stir that up a little bit. And we're going to add back in the chicken and salt pork. Just been sitting, resting over here. Come on, baby. Don't. There you go. And let me distribute these a little more. And hello. What do we have there? Miguel, how are you doing? Buenas. We're cooking pom from Suriname. This is in the pot. We're gonna now add our 1 chicken bouillon cube. Looks like a piece of candy. I'll read you in a moment there. And we're gonna cover this with water. Personally, I want to barely cover this with water, because I always end up with things that are way too soupy. But we're going to be using this liquid later on in an interesting way. So, picture of you. So, I'm going to cover that. I'll read your comment in a second here. No, it's here. I'm going to cover that and let it simmer for 25 minutes. 25 to 30 minutes. 47. Am I right? Yes. Think about any time you browned rice and then added broth to rice. I killed mine by making rice-a-roni. We saute the rice in vermicelli and then add, or when you dump a large can of tomatoes and other items. I'm sure it happened a dozen different times. I mean, I couldn't even think of pinpointing one time, because it probably happens so many times. At least I can narrow it down to at some point in the last year. And I have photographic evidence of everything. Right? So, this is going to simmer for 25 minutes, and now is the time when we go to our magic ingredient. Grab it. The pom in the pom terre, the starch that is referenced in the name of the dish, it has a dozen different names. The Dutch apparently call it pom terre. I hope that's the right pronunciation. I could be very, very wrong on that. Or just terre. Sounds like tater. In lieu of potatoes, because they couldn't get potatoes to grow in Suriname, so they went to something that did. And that thing is this, which to some people it's very hard to find. For us, very easy to find. That right there is our dish. Our terre, known, its name begins with an X. Its actual name. However, it's also known as elephant's ear. It is also known as malanga. That's that's what I call it, malanga. Also, Puerto Ricans, we use it every day, and we call it yautía. When I was cooking palau, if you've been with us for a long time, it's the last time we dealt with malanga, or yautía, or whatever. And that was, I'm going to peel into here, because I should scrub this, even though it's going to get peeled. Now, when people in Holland eat this, and they do quite a bit, because in Holland, their Surinamese food is very popular. It just happens, plus their flat top surface electric cook makes you notice more than if you cooked on a gas stove, indeed. But in the Netherlands, Surinamese food is very, very popular. There were, 123 Surinamese restaurants in Amsterdam alone. Hello, Clifton, thank you for the restream. So, this is the malanga. aka yautía to us Puerto Ricans, elephant's ear, other teer to the Dutch, pomteer. Actual name begins with an X, which I couldn't begin to pronounce, and I don't have it written down. But it is the starch that does grow in Suriname. Suriname, although it is in South America, is not really, it's not any part of Latin America. It is part of the Caribbean, even though it's on the mainland. And that has to do with its origin. In that, while there were indigenous populations originally, the Dutch came, well, first the Spanish, and then the British, and then the Dutch finally got a hold of it, and it was a Dutch colony for years, until 1975, I want to say 72 or 75, that Suriname became independent. And they have friendly relations with the Dutch. They speak Dutch. And there's many people from Suriname that have emigrated to Netherlands. And just like with Indonesia, where you can find Indonesian food all over Amsterdam and the Netherlands, you can find Surinamese food all over the Netherlands also. Back when we cooked the Netherlands, I did a dish, Indonesian dish, inspired by the cuisine that you'll find in Amsterdam. When people cook it in the Netherlands, you'll find recipes for this. It says ingredient 1 is the, at Meerkat says, yummy! What does this plant look like? I don't know. It has big leaves on the outside. But that's all I know. This is the root, obviously, of the vegetable. Of the starch, of the tuber. It's like taro, but it's not taro. When I was cooking